In my survey, nearly 3,700 Korean and Pakia living in Korea and New Zealand participated. Among them, in the case of youth, there were more than 2,000 responses obtained from Koreans in Korea, Koreans in New Zealand, and Pakia. And
Excuse me, Justine, so you have 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And I wanted to see how their extrinsic and intrinsic success beliefs are different among these three comparison groups. And can you guess which group would put a higher ratings on extrinsic success among the three comparison groups? So the red represent Koreans in Korea, blue is Koreans in New Zealand, and this one is Pakia. So interestingly, the answer was both Korean groups put a higher ratings on extrinsic success. It is more important for Koreans in Korea and New Zealand to achieve extrinsic success compared to Pakia group. And also, both Korean groups receive higher expectation to achieve extrinsic success from others compared to Pakia. That is to say, in terms of extrinsic success, both Korean groups are similar to each other. Then what about intrinsic success? Which group put a higher ratings on intrinsic success? Interestingly, this time, the answer is both groups in New Zealand. Korean New Zealanders, during the process of adaptation and acculturation into New Zealand culture, are likely to broaden their standards of success by adding intrinsic success in life, like I did. Also, Korean New Zealanders tend to receive higher social expectation to pursue intrinsic success from others compared to Koreans in Korea. That is, Korean youth in New Zealand tend to have a more balanced and more various success beliefs compared to Koreans in Korea. And the most important findings of my doctoral study is that it is much more important for us to pursue interpersonal and intrapersonal success standards in order to live a fulfilled, happy, meaningful lives. So, as you can see, we are situated in between. We are not in our home country, but that does not mean that we are no longer influenced by the culture of our origin. At the same time, we are here in New Zealand where there are many different criteria for a successful life. So now, my question is heading to you. Please reflect yourself whether you are pursuing the success standards of success which were originated from your cultural background, or whether you are striving something because of someone's expectation. Then I think it's time for you to take time to question yourself. What do I really want to achieve? What do I can do well? Please position yourself where you really like and where you can use your potential. By doing so, I believe that you can try to get out of your paradigm and you can be real yourself. One warning before finishing my talk is that you cannot change yourself within a day. No, changing paradigm, habits, ways of thinking take time. However, the more open you ask yourself, the more likely you can find your purpose of life and maximize your potential. So, when you struggle later, please remember me and the structure and the story of my talk. I went through embarrassed moment, touching the bottom and finding my inner barrier. And I break through out of comfort zone and diversified my success paradigm. I wish that you can live a successful and happy life in New Zealand. And another sincere wish I have now is that someday in the future, you share your story to other international students in a seminar like today's webinar. Doesn't it sound fantastic? I'd like to finish my talk by quoting Hermann Hesse's wording in Demian. An enlightened man had but one duty, to seek the way to himself, to reach inner certainty, to grope his way forward, no matter where it led. Good luck, everyone, and thank you so much for your listening.
Justine, thank you very much. You've mentioned frustration, and I think I will go away this afternoon just remembering that at one point you talked about crying in the evenings, and so that's just a little affecting memory that you shared. So thank you for sharing that for us, because sometimes it can be very challenging for students who are new to a culture and things just seem so strange and so difficult to adjust to. And also helping us to recognise that there are real inner barriers for us to work through. And you talked about a very memorable breakthrough when you chose to speak to the people in the meeting, talk about how you're feeling, and choosing to be more proactive from that point. And so thank you. That's another helpful little story I think we can take away. And it's good to hear about the paradigm shift in terms of shifting towards a more relationship-based view and approach to life, whereas your studies and achievements still are important, but they are in context. So thank you very much. We do appreciate, again, sharing stories which we can take away.